Now tell us, Rajiv, real estate has always played a prominent role in our lives. We've always bought and sold homes with the help of realtors. Why should realtors go through a formal course at all?
Well, it's not just realtors, it's the entire real estate industry. It's maturing, professionalizing, globalizing. So in some sense, you're not an isolated individual just participating alone in building houses for individuals. You are affecting the development, the trajectory of the country.
So that's where you think education plays a major role?
Yeah. So instead of just being a realtor or a builder, you now have to think of yourself as a person who is making an impact on the larger urban landscape. There, it's very important to be aware of government, of business, about society, about environment, transportation. There's so many facets that your actions are affecting.
Right. Now tell us, if IIM does it have a course on real estate management and principles?
At the present moment, no. But Wharton, where I got my PhD, has a major for their MBAs in real estate. Wisconsin has a similar program. These are American programs that I can think of. Most urban and management related programs tend to be found within schools of urban planning, schools of public administration, this sort of private sector driven thrust. That hasn't really been there. Typically, an MBA educates people as in a generalized, in a generalist manner, not in an industry specific manner. But real estate seems to be the kind of industry that requires so much expertise drawn from so many different fields that it would make sense for an MBA program to be at the cutting edge.
What are the topics that will be covered under this?
Well, one is applied finance, applied to the real estate sector. This includes valuation, this includes structuring of deals and private-public partnerships, and all those kinds of issues. There would have to be real estate law, because India especially is very, very complex when it comes to understanding the legal issues across different kinds of land use and things of that sort. Another would be urban planning and what's going on out there, what impacts it would have on this sector. But I would go so far as to say that you've got to study environmental issues. You've got to study social issues related to urban settings. In India, just real estate law itself would be a very complicated, fascinating field. There's so many different kinds of land uses, titles, which land you can develop and which you can't, which you can acquire and which you can't, all kinds of other issues. So it's a multifaceted program.
Now, we know that there are some institutions which offer online courses on real estate management and principles. Now, don't you think it'll be good to go to a regular college and physically attend? Don't you think those will be better than correspondence courses?
Yeah. Typically, the entire value of an education comes as much from interaction with peers, going out and doing projects together. So ideally, if you can get a mix within a class of not just your regular MBAs, but also people from the field, people who are in the real estate profession in one aspect or the other, people from government, from planning, architects and others, that's the kind of grouping that would really allow for wonderful interaction and growth. So I would say a classroom setting really has tremendous value. I know people are busy, you may have to design these as evening or weekend courses, but it's still doable. It's not impossible at all. That's where possibly the real estate sector, which is rapidly professionalizing, needs to take a step forward. Come to an IIM and say, look, we'll set up a real estate chair. Can we work out a course for our industry? And then we'll try and attract the best students from everywhere.
Now you have to tell us, what kind of employment opportunities do students have on completion?
Well, actually that's the real driving force of any particular program. If placements are possible, then students will flock to that particular degree. India is still at that stage where people aren't pursuing love of knowledge, they're very much interested in the final job. One of the best ways to start creating these opportunities is to provide internships, to create summer programs where people can come and work for a month or two, for both the industry and the students to get a sense of what are the possibilities.
Now there's another question that comes to my mind. Now retail is growing here in India. It's the second largest industry here. Now what is the sector that needs these kind of trained professionals?
Well, we're talking real estate here.
Right.
Look, I actually see India as having huge needs. See, if you're talking about slum redevelopment in Dharavi, right? What are they talking about? Bringing in private sector players to do a commercial development, at the same time building a low-cost housing for the low-income group that was already living there. Certainly, governments and housing boards are stuck in some other era. What we need are these cutting-edge real estate development firms that can deliver. So, in each of these areas, you need professionals who understand what's going on, who are not there just thinking about what's the how many floors can I build on this plot, but also understand how does this plot fit into whatever else is going on. Who can work with other builders even, okay, to build an ecosystem. Those are the sorts of challenges ahead.
So now you're saying that with the construction happening more and more in the country, it is important to have educated professionals in the market.
Absolutely, yeah. The industry itself has evolved. It used to be a disorganized, unofficial money kind of a sector, and now it's very much driven by professionalism. The aim is to be world class. So far, if you've seen in many of these sectors, people are drawn from existing professions. The BPO sector hires someone from hospitality or something like that. Why? It's all service. Well, in real estate, you pick up someone from some other financial field. But there's infrastructure, there's real estate financing, there's development, environmental issues. You need people with a lot of, with a broad array of knowledge. And so the future I see is of more industry-academic interaction, the setting up of courses that aim at sunrise industries like real estate. I see the future very bright for this kind of a field, okay? And I think having even a channel like yours is indicative of that larger development.
Thank you very much for being with us in our show today, and thanks very much for sharing all that information with us and our viewers.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming to IIM.